into this year, and this is it kind of ties back into the clay because it kind of puts off our timeline of needing the clay, is getting a vertical expansion before we ask for our next horizontal expansion. So right now, the top of the landfill is an 8-to-1 slope. We're gonna, it's 4-to-1 going up the sides, and that's 8-to-1 over the top. And we're gonna basically ask to peak it out at 4-to-1 all the way up to the top and fill out the entire top of the landfill. So peeling back some of the stuff that's already on there, some of the cap work, peeling that all back and filling the top. So we're gonna look into that this year still, because it's a long process to get it going. So, and then the other benefit of this is we have to, some of our side slopes on phase 4 have been to final grade for more than 6 months now. Even more than a year, I think, by now, that we technically have to then cap. You can only sit without a cap on it. But if we get this vertical expansion, then we're claiming, well, it's not up to final grade yet. We're still working on it, so then we don't have to, we won't be forced to cap it until we're ready. So, but that's about it for the landfill. MRF operations, we kind of went over. Stuff's going really well. 5 loads of cardboard, 2 loads of paper, 2 loads of plastic, 8 loads of scrap metal were shipped just in May, with $45,000 in that. Town of Adams. We're kind of right on track for that. We're delivering carts over these last couple weeks, and these next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're delivering all the carts. The calls are starting to go down. We got a lot of angry calls, people not knowing that this contract was happening with Adams, people not wanting it. But they're tapering off. Most people are understandable that this is something the town decided, so we direct a lot of the calls to Town of Adams. We're telling them basically at this point, we're just a provider. We just provide the service. We don't deal with billing. We don't really deal with anything other than just picking up your garbage and your recycling. So it's been getting better. It's nice when we get happy phone calls, people that are excited about it, actually ready to have their carts and their garbage provided by the township. So it's always nice. Coloma, they have signed a 10-year contract with Adams County to do their collection service. And they are actually excited about having it. It seems like, we've already been providing their collection service for the last 3 years, but now they signed a 10-year that will include the 95-gallon carts for garbage and recycling. So, and again, that'll start in 2022, but we are looking into ordering the carts later this summer, and getting them distributed in the fall. So we're not passing out carts and educating people on how to use the carts in the middle of winter. So that's kind of what's going on there. And then the last thing for the site report, at least, is so next week, June 17th, is Sanitation Appreciation Day. We're going to do a cookout. So I'm just kind of opening it up. If anyone wants to stop by, if anyone wants to help, if anyone wants to come get lunch, feel free. So.
Was that a Saturday, you said? Or
no, it's next Thursday.
On a Saturday, they used to have that kind of open, the different pickups, or that you could bring different things in, specials on Saturdays.
So that's
the clean sweep?
Yeah, the clean sweep. So that's something in the past the county has done every other year, and we did it in 2020. Mm-hmm. So now we won't be doing it again until 2022. Okay. But after that, because we do get a lot of calls asking about that, like what to do with hazardous waste, what to do with their stains and their paints and all this other household chemicals and stuff. So by the time I started, it was too late to do one in 20, because it's funded by the state, or at least a big chunk of it. It's funded by the state. So starting next year, we are going to do one every year, just to have a little more options for people, that they don't have to hold on to their stuff for 2 years. So we will be doing it every year. We've already kind of decided it's going to be the first Saturday of June every year. We're just gonna keep it the same. First Saturday, everybody knows we can start getting, I mean, when we get closer, we'll start getting the word out. It'll be an annual thing, first Saturday of the year. That's all I got for the site report.
And that clean sweep,
Yeah.
I haven't been on the finance committee for a while, but it used to be so much was budgeted from the county each year for that set aside.
Yep.
But there was also, I believe, federal grant money attached to that someplace.
I don't know about federal. There's state grant money.
State? Okay.
Yeah, so they provide a grant. We have to provide a match up to a certain amount of that grant. And that's how it's all paid for. So whatever, the state gives us $16,000. We have to chip in, I think it's like 5,000 or something like that.
Okay. Are you familiar with how much money is sitting in the county right now for that?
I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, I don't know.
I believe it's over $50,000. We have a carryover account for that. I believe that's what you're referring to.
Oh, okay. Great. Anything else with the state report? Blank.
Okay, next thing is reviewing and acting on raising tippage charges. Yeah, not this week. What?
All right, so we have kind of looked into, and I mentioned it last month, raising the tipping fees for the landfill. Current rate is $60 a ton. It's been like this since 2009, which is an extremely long time not to raise fees for what's coming into the landfill. That was a $5 raise. Then it went from 55 to 60 in 2009, so 13 years ago. It would bring in about $40,000 in extra revenue, because there are there's some tonnages coming in that couldn't change right now. So like the Leonard stuff, anything Leonard brings in, that wouldn't be affected by this. And then some of the contracts, like the town of Adams, they're already in a contract at $60 a ton. So we couldn't raise that either. So it wouldn't be the full $2 for all the tonnages, but it'd still be about $40,000 extra dollars rather than the solid waste. Some of our increased operations, just the necessary kind of part of running a landfill. Some of the surrounding tipping fees. So Vernon County is 60, Cranberry Creek up in Rapids is 75, Dulles County is 65, Dane County is 52, Hickory Meadows is 82, and they're over by Lake Winnebago, on the other side of Lake Winnebago. Marathon County is 47, Allegheny is 46. So some of those other county landfills are a little bit lower, but they also bring in a lot more garbage. 3, 4, 5, 6 times as much garbage as we do. So they're kind of able to keep their costs a little bit low. With the amount of garbage we bring in, we kind of need a little bit higher. So some of those other ones, like Vernon County and Dulles County, those are the landfills that are our size. Like those bring in similar tonnages. And then in turn,
Some of them are not hauling their own garbage either, right?
and that's the other thing. So besides Dane County, none of these other landfills have all three of a MRF to operate, a hauling division to operate, and a landfill to operate. They are just operating a landfill. Allegheny has a landfill and a MRF, but they don't do any of their own hauling. Some of the other, like Columbia County, just has hauling. They don't have a landfill. But so to have all three like we do is pretty rare for a municipality. Then kind of the last thing I have, just the same operating procedures occur whether we are a huge landfill or a small landfill. Like just because we are a small landfill, our costs are the same as some of these big landfills. We have all the same equipment needs, we have all the same staffing trash needs to get compacted, equipment needs maintenance on, side slopes need to get dirt put on them and graded out. So it's kind of all the same work. But we just don't have all this tonnage coming in that brings in a bunch of extra revenue or more revenue. So we're working with a lot smaller tonnage is coming in, so a lot smaller revenue stream compared to some of these other landfills that have just massive amounts of tonnage coming in from a much more populated area.
So we need a motion to act on authorizing raising tippage charges?
So that would go to all the transfer sites. The township would also be charged that extra tippage fee for tonnage.
Yep, so right now they get charged $60 a ton, so they would get charged $62. Yeah, Kyle, you got anything else to add?
I gotta find my unmute button. No.
Okay.
A little, just that's $62 or $60 a ton currently. Is that across the board? I mean, so I bring in a trailer load of garbage that I picked up in my yard versus the guy that's coming in with a dump truck load. Is it all the same?
Yeah, so it's all the same. It's all the same $60 a ton, but it's all prorated. So you're only paying for the weight. You bring in under a ton, you're going to pay under $60. But it's the same ratio as $60 a ton. So yeah, you're only paying for what you actually bring.
So
60 is not a minimum.
No, so the minimum is actually what we're talking about.
So when you have to all the municipalities out there that for our townships, we're basically going to let them know that if this goes through, that we're going to charge them $2 more a ton for their garbage. Plus, we're going up that I think it's another quart, 25. We're raising the rates on their hauling on top of that, right?
Every year for the next, well, the first year's already been raised. Now the next 3 more years. Yeah, it will. And yeah, and they'll probably be a little unhappy at first, or very unhappy. But I do think it's a necessary thing that we need to do to just kind of keep up with everything that needs to be done at the site, at solid waste. And then we would put this off. I mean, we don't know exactly what kind of time frame, but it would probably be even a couple months. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 months of having it posted and letting people know that this is happening. Just not, all right, here's the increase starting tomorrow or whatever.
I didn't know if you had to, for a lot of these townships, if they'd have to wait till their next budget to kind of understand, or if you raised it now before that.
Yeah, I guess that's a part I'm not sure yet.
Well, might be better off to wait till right at the first of the year to start that.
And we talked about that. That is something we can definitely.
Be a good anniversary date to start that with.
Yeah, I just have it posted in the office, posted on solid waste website, and we can let the townships know. And yeah, 6 months.
They have time to get through budget with it too. Yeah.
So that, yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all.
No.
So we still need a motion to authorize raising the rates regardless of when it starts.
I'll make the motion.
I guess I'll second it.
Okay, Gordy and Ken, motion and second to authorize solid waste to raise the tippage charges. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, Ken?
One question.
Yep.
So with the hauling fees going up and the tippage fees going up, but if the municipalities where they go to door-to-door service, then is that tippage figured in? Do they pay tippage on that door-to-door service, or is that just on the?
No, so that's, so the way the contracts are written up for any municipality, like Town of Adams, their contract has started in July. They have a fixed fee that pays for the actual, like, the truck costs, and the fuel costs, and the driver costs. And they pay that every 6 months, the same fee. And then they have a flexible fee that is the actual tonnage of their garbage. So they get billed out for the actual amount of garbage, and that's based on the tipping fees. So like they're paying $60 a ton. That's basically.
So when they're picking up on F, they basically got to stop at the township line when they're going to pick. They just can't go full length F because then they'll be picking up Quincy with Town of Adams. So,
yep. So Town of Adams is completely on their own. Any township that'll have a contract going forward will be completely. So like Coloma will go do Coloma, come empty, so we get their waste, and they'll go out to another route or whatever. So we keep all the weights separate. And that's the other part of it that won't really see an effect is the individual people that have subscription services, their fees won't go up. They don't pay an additional, they pay what it's $38 a month. If you at your house just wanted service, and your township doesn't offer the contract, you can have it. Oh, it's $38 a month. You're not going to see any rates.
Okay. Starting January 1st.
I guess I would like to put that in my motion that it would start January 1st, 22.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'll keep on to my second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Raise your rates. Okay, review and act on raising landfill scale minimum charge.
All right, so this is just another one. We kind of think it's necessary for kind of a couple different reasons. We can't actually find the last time it was raised or whatever it was. Like it's at $10. So right now there's a $10 minimum up to 350 pounds. And then it gets prorated after that. We looked back and we can't really find anything of when it even was raised, like when the last time a change was made on that. So we don't really have that data. But in 2020, we had over 3,000 tickets come across the scale for just the minimum $10 fee. And the majority of those came across between May and September. So like our busiest time of the year is when most of these 3,000 people came across the scale. So it sounds bad, but raising the minimum would detract people from coming into the land. It would keep our scale open and running a lot more smoothly for the contractors, for our haulers, for the Leonard haulers, for the Clark haulers. It would just keep everything running a lot more smoothly if we didn't have a line of people coming in wanting to get rid of one bag of garbage. We think this would also kind of encourage residents to consider either talking to their townships and getting a contract with Adams County or looking at the service themselves to have curbside collection service at their house, which our curbside collection is every week garbage, every other week recycling. Like I said, so it's $38 a month. So we would raise it to $15, which is what we're kind of proposing. You come in twice to the landfill and bring your one bag in, you're almost to that point already. Like we just think it could encourage a lot more people. And the studies kind of have proven, and we can even look at the tonnages numbers coming in from the townships that have curbside collection we have in the county, that when people have their big containers just sitting right out there at their house, they're more than likely to throw a lot more of the garbage into it and a lot more recycling. So it just encourages, having the curbside just encourages them to clean up. It just helps the county stay a little cleaner as well. So to look at some of the surrounding, we are the lowest, and it's not all that close. So Vernon County is 20, Cranberry Creek is 18, Phyllis is 14, Dane is 13, Hickory Meadows is 48, Marathon County is 25, Allegheny is So this is more of an operational, I mean, it would be, I mean, if the same number of people came in, it would be an additional $15,000 of revenue brought in. We don't think it'd be that, because we do think it would just attract people. But a big part of this is to kind of help our kind of customer service and keeping the scale open. That then allows us more time to answer calls, to get people scheduled, to return phone calls, just kind of help with some of the issues that the department has seen in the past. So,
Thoughts, motions?
I guess I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion and second to approve raising the minimum charge to $15. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have it.
I just got a
That's-
question.
yeah,
Is that anything that goes across the scale?
any garbage. I mean, there's different fees for yard waste, for branches,
Batteries, paint.
yeah, all that stuff, batteries, appliances, electronics, they all have their own stuff. This won't affect any of that.
Okay.
So this is just for the stuff that's for garbage. And we'll do the same timeline. We'll have it posted, but it won't be until January 1st.
Jerry?
He answered my question before I asked it.
Okay. Upcoming agenda items. Anybody have anything? Okay. Keep the Tuesday meeting date. That'll make it July 13th. Goes to everybody, same time, July 13th at 5. Yep. Okay,
I will be gone next month, Rocky.
well, get a replacement.
You want a replacement?
Well, he's probably going somewhere with no internet. And phone service.
I could Zoom it, I think.
Whatever works. Anyway, meeting adjourned.